Staying on with updates from the US, President Donald Trump, in a press conference on Monday, described his upcoming meeting with his Russian counterpart, Vladimir Putin, as a feel-out meeting to gauge Putin's ideas for ending the war in Ukraine. Now, Trump has invited Putin to Alaska on Friday, that is the 15th of August, which will mark the first face-to-face meeting between the two presidents since Russia's invasion of Ukraine in February of 2022. Now, at the press conference, the US president said that he would press his Russian counterpart to end the war.
So I'm going in to speak to Vladimir Putin, and I'm going to be telling him, you got to end this war, you got to end it.
Trump also said that he was a little bothered by his Ukrainian counterpart Zelensky's stance and insisted that both Ukraine and Russia would have to give up territory to each other as part of a potential peace agreement, adding that his meeting with Putin would test waters for such a deal.
I'm going to meet with him. We're going to see what the parameters are. I'm then going to call up President Zelensky and the European leaders right after the meeting, yeah. And I'm going to tell them what kind of a deal. I'm not going to make a deal. It's not up to me to make a deal.
Trump said he would know within minutes of that meeting if there would be a peace deal between Ukraine and Russia.
That meeting, probably in the first 2 minutes, I'll know exactly whether or not a deal can be made. Because that's what I do. I make deals.
He also revealed plans to call Zelensky and other European leaders immediately after the talks, fearing that Putin will team up with Trump to force unacceptable compromises. European leaders plan to speak separately on Wednesday. Now, German Chancellor Friedrich Merz has invited the French, British and other European leaders and the EU and NATO chiefs to virtual talks. Merz's office said the video conference in various rounds of talks would discuss further options to exert pressure on Russia and the preparation of a possible peace negotiation and related issues of territorial claims and security. EU foreign ministers met in Brussels on Monday with Ukrainian Foreign Minister Andriy Sybiha and also examined imposing a 19th package of sanctions on Russia since the invasion in 2022. EU Foreign Policy Chief Kaja Kallas and she said that until Russia agrees to a full and unconditional ceasefire, concessions should not be even discussed. Zelensky warned against giving in to Putin's demands, highlighting how Russia refuses to stop the killings and therefore must not receive any rewards or benefits. And there is more on this from our correspondent Susan, who sends us this report from New York.
At a White House press briefing on Monday, President Donald Trump said that achieving peace in Ukraine requires land swapping between Russia and Ukraine, potentially involving territory that each side cedes, which he described as both good and bad. Trump emphasized that Russia occupies very prime territory and expressed the desire to recover some of it for Ukraine. He framed an upcoming Alaska summit with Putin as a quote-unquote feel-out meeting, stating that he'd immediately consult with European leaders and Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky afterwards. Trump suggested that if conditions are favorable, a future three-way meeting between him, Zelensky, and Putin could follow. European leaders and Vladimir Zelensky have firmly rejected a deal that would exclude Ukraine or forces territorial concessions in any way. Susan Terhwani reporting from New York for WION The World.